Welcome to Jiva Yoga Live. I'm Hillary. In this video, I'm going to show you 13 stretches for your lower back pain. Thanks for joining us here at Jiva Yoga Live. Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can get alerts about future videos. Namaste. This video is going to cover 13 stretches for lower back pain. So if you've been searching for the perfect stress to help relieve your lower back, you're bound to find 1, 2, 3, or 13 in this video that can help you. One thing I will recommend before we start is just to keep in mind that the whole body works together. So don't focus on just stretching the lower back. Remember that you want to also open the hips, open the backs of the legs, and remember that all of these major muscle groups are working together. And if we work on all of them, we feel better all over. So to start, we're going to look at a few poses on the ground that are really restorative, and you may be familiar with them. The most classic, we'll start with child's pose. You're probably familiar with this pose. There are two variations: extending the arms out in front of the body or bringing them alongside the body with palms face up. We can bring the legs wide in this posture or closer together. You will find a different release of tension depending on how you stretch in this pose. It's always a great pose to take at any point during your practice when you need relief, and it's really great to end your day with right before going to bed. Even as you're in your bed, it doesn't just help the body release, it helps the mind relax as well. It's really great for calming yourself, trying to go to sleep, and of course it's going to help with the lower back pain. A similar pose we can look at is rabbit pose. So starting similarly to child's pose, but with our toes tucked, we bring the crown of the head towards the mat and the hips up. It gives us a nice stretch in the entire spine, even through the shoulders and the sides of the arms. It's a great posture for stretching the whole spine, and it even has all of the benefits of an inversion without getting your entire body off the ground. So it does a lot of great stuff for you. Another classic pose for relieving pain from the lower back is Happy Baby, Ananda Balasana. So to do this posture, we grab our toes with our peace fingers and we open the hips wide. We want to make sure that we're keeping the lower spine on the mat so that it's not coming off. Oof, it hurts even to demonstrate. And in this posture, you can still explore the movement, finding what feels good, rocking around, extending one leg at a time or both away from the body. This is also a really great restorative posture to take during your practice if you need a break or at the end of the practice. And a nice supine spinal twist is also super great for relieving pain from the lower body. So when we're in our spinal twist, we bring the hips to one side, the hips and knees to one side of the body, and our gaze turns to the opposite side. Really breathe into the sides of the body, into the lower abdomen. This is a great detoxifying posture. It's obviously great for relaxing the lower spine, but it also relieves tension in the hips, and the tops of the legs, in the shoulders, and in the chest. So this is a really good one to take, again, especially in a restorative practice. Make sure that you repeat on the opposite side as well. Head to knee posture, another great one for relieving pain in the lower back. Helps to stretch the back of the hamstrings, which is so good for relieving tension in the lower spine. Making sure that we keep this navel tucked towards the spine so that we're really expanding through the lower back and getting the most out of the stretch. Making sure that we keep a flexed foot and the knee is engaged with the top of the thigh to protect the spine as we're folding forward. Repeat on both sides. So it's really important to stretch the backs of the legs to protect the lower spine. Doing this reclined hand to big toe posture is perfect. Keeping both legs activated and making sure that the lower back is staying flush to the ground. This is really great for relieving tension in the lower spine without having to fold over. A lot of times we're bending over the back to try to release tension, and sometimes that actually just aggravates the pain more. So this is really great because by relieving tension here in the backs of the legs, we're still relieving tension in the lower spine. It's really important to combine legs, hips, and back to manage our pain. Reclined bound angle pose is also really great. Bringing the heels away from the body or closer to the groin. Find what feels good in this stretch for you, for your lower back. Press the heels towards each other. You can feel the stretch in the groins, in the sides of the hips. And this is a really nice restorative posture. So you can stay in this posture for a few minutes. It's really great after doing any back bends or any forward folds. Helps counter that flexion in the spine. Standing postures are also great for the lower back. We come into a wide-legged forward bend. We bring the feet wide as we can, and then from the hips we fold forward. We can bring the peace fingers to the big toes and bend the elbows to help us open through the shoulders. Bring the tailbone straight up to the sky, making sure that we're lifting out of the tailbone and out of the hips, releases the tension in the lower spine. So it's really important to be stretching through the backs of the legs here, through the upper hips and through the spine, sending it straight up, allowing the tailbone to fold with ease. Reverse warrior is another great posture for finding some relief of tension in the lower spine. We really lift out of the hips and use the sides of the body to stretch through, up and over, and reversing it, lifting out of the sides of the body, lifting through the hips, just allows a little more range of motion along the sides of the spine, releasing some tension and pain in the lower back. And goddess pose. Another really great posture for opening the groins, opening the hips, finding strength in the legs. And when we're really drawing strength up from the legs, up from the thighs, we're supporting the spine. The weight, the strength is coming from the legs. It's not depending on the upper torso. So this is really good to open this area, allow there to be more space in the front of the body, in the back of the body, relieving lots of tension. This is a great posture to hold for several deep breaths, even for a few minutes if you can. And garland pose or Balasana is another really nice stretch for the lower spine, for the outer hips. We want to connect the thumbs to the sternum to help remind us to lift the chest. And we bring the tailbone towards the mat, This helps us rotate those outer hips and find more space in the spine. Taking really nice deep breaths here and really pressing away from the feet to find strength and lift in this posture. So one-legged pigeon pose, another really great stretch for opening through the hip flexors, opening through the outer hips, and then when we're coming down onto our forearms or extending the arms entirely out in front of the body, we're able to release tension here in the lower spine, just making sure that we keep the hip tucked under and that we breathe deeply. This is a really deep stretch. It's really important to connect to the breath always, but especially when we're getting into these really deep stretches, we want to make sure that we're moving oxygen, we're moving blood. The more that we're doing this, the more that we're helping reduce inflammation, and the more that we're helping expand the body with mobility, with flexibility. And reclined hero's pose is another great stretch for the tops of the thighs, for the hip flexors. And it's so important to stretch all of these surrounding muscles of the lower spine, not just the lower spine, but all the muscles that support them. The hip flexors are a huge group of muscles, and when they are shortened from too much flexion, they can actually pull the hips and pull the spine out of alignment, causing us to have chronic pain, often not knowing what it's sourcing from. So if you spend a lot of time sitting, a lot of time driving, or a lot of time at a desk, making sure that you're stretching through the fronts of the hips, all the way up into the core of the abs, down into the sides of the thigh, is going to be really critical for making sure that you're relieving the pain in the lower spine. And finally, we have to mention corpse pose. Corpse pose allows the whole body to relax, to release tension. And it's so important to honor this part of your practice. No matter how much time you have, make sure you're giving at least 10 full breaths of attention to relaxing the entire body. When the body is relaxed, it can recover. When it's holding tension and holding stress, it's difficult for the body to find release, to find ease. So just giving yourself a minute or two at the end of every practice to really let go is really going to make a tremendous impact in allowing you to find relief in that pain. Shavasana, my favorite pose. So these are 13 poses that can definitely assist with your lower back pain. A few things to remember. One, as always in any practice, connect your breath to your movement. Moving oxygen and moving blood through your body doesn't just help expand the flexibility of your body, it also helps reduce inflammation. Inflammation is often coming from a lack of oxygen or a lack of blood flow. So pushing the breath, the prana through the body helps relieve pain. Also, we want to make sure that we're taking a holistic approach to these stretches. So not only stretching the lower spine, but stretching the muscles that support the lower spine, stretching the hips, stretching the groin, stretching the backs of the legs. All are very important. And lastly, making sure that you honor your corpse pose, honor your final relaxation, give your body the time and the space it needs to relax and recover. I hope you found a few of these postures helpful. Start integrating them into your practice, and hopefully you'll be feeling much more relieved from that lower back pain in no time.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And of course, click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Hope to see you next time. Namaste.